Good afternoon. I'm bloody exhausted by the weather. It's been stormy in Glasgow and pretty much everywhere else in the UK for like 2 weeks. It's been really shite. It's been very cold, very windy, snow, hail, rain, occasionally unbelievably clear blue skies in the midst of it all. And I'm very glad to be indoors. Made a purchase, which was encouraged by a friend of mine. It smells in here. I need to wash my food waste bin. It smells a bit binny. Anyway, you fortunately can't experience that. Yeah. Gameboy printer. Really weird thing. The more you think about it, it's a printer that connects to a Game Boy. I saw this at the beginning of the week, and I kind of had been faintly on the lookout for one. I've been kind of waiting for one to turn up to an extent. It was ever so slightly more than I. Well, it was just, it wasn't expensive. It just was an amount of money. It wasn't so cheap that I felt like buying it. There and then without a moment's thought, as sometimes I do. But I decided to. I told my friend, who was very interested in this for its kind of quote unquote artistic potential, the oddity value. And he was very encouraging. I kind of knew he would be, just to sort of make sure I wasn't buying something really stupid, which of course I am. He encouraged me to buy it, and I wanted to make sure that you could still get paper for it. Now, official Game Boy printer paper, which is, it's kind of funny that it's a thing, supposedly, oh there we go, that's how you, supposedly it doesn't really work anymore. It's ordinary thermal paper, which when I worked in retail or catering or, well, hospitality or anything like that, same as till roll. So it doesn't need ink, as I understand. It's like heat. Well, it's thermal paper, so I don't know. It's like a heat thing that prints onto the paper. So it's just black and white. So the paper's white, and the printing thing makes the paper turn black. Doesn't put black onto it as such. Does that make sense? Anyway, so the original Game Boy printer paper is degraded such that it doesn't come out very clearly, but it's just ordinary till roll. You just need to get it in the right size, supposedly, and it will work just fine. It takes 6 batteries, is that right? 6 batteries, that's an awful lot. I've been thinking for a while that I need to get some more rechargeable batteries for these sorts of things, so that I'm not having to change batteries. Well, like swap around a single set of charged batteries constantly. And now that I've got something that takes 6 batteries, that really is, I don't know if I have 6. I maybe have about 6 in total, so I'd have to take it out of my Bluetooth mouse from my dead old MacBook, whose tracker pad, mouse pad thing has died. I'd have to take it out of the Game Boy, I'd have to take it out of the Wii Remote, and that's almost all the batteries I have, so not that I'd be using this all the time, but yeah, I should probably get some new batteries. Well, yeah, what an interesting thing. I mean, I remember when this came out, and I don't know, it's interesting. I remember the adverts and things, and it was the Game Boy camera, that was advertised, and this, was an accessory to that. They didn't really advertise this as such. And I remember that it was very much advertised as this like wacky photo making thing. Is this how you load in the paper? I'm gonna be careful with this. So there should be no illusion really to me looking back on it now, and yet I look at it like a time traveler or someone from the very distant future who looks at this, sees Game Boy printer and thinks they used Game Boys to print things back in those days. That is obviously not really quite true in the sense in which it sounds, people were never printing anything besides silly little photographs on these things, and yet the way it's designed, it kind of does look like, it just says printer. It's a printer. And it's funny if you maybe, something about the proportions of it, it's, I don't know. It's funny. It's a really funny thing because it kind of does look like compared to the Game Boy camera, looks like a piece of office equipment. It looks like a card machine, and which is exactly the sort of thing you'd get with this sort of thermal roll. Yeah, funny old thing. Let's see. But yeah, in terms of its design, we're in the Game Boy Color era, and yet this looks much more of a piece with the original Game Boy. That grey and grey color scheme, which I love actually. The more I look at it, the more I like it. What the heck, what a weird looking thing. It's ostensibly a piece of video game equipment, a video game accessory, but it really, like, in its design and everything about it, it couldn't look further from that. And that's faintly interesting, apparently. Yeah, that's that. One of my shorter videos, but still, sadly, 8 minutes.